Now, over the past decade, the Edmonton Oilers have to be one of the worst run organizations in sports. Like, you have to understand, Connor McDavid is 27 years old. He is in year 10 with the Edmonton Oilers and they made it to one Stanley Cup final. Like, when you have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on the same team, I feel like it shouldn't be that difficult to build a supporting cast, but they've made countless mistakes, like more mistakes than I can count, and that is why this team hasn't won a Stanley Cup. But things are about to change. I'm taking over in this alternate universe. I'm going to be building this Edmonton Oilers team, but we're going to be building Connor McDavid's dream team. So how are we going to build Connor McDavid's dream team? Well, first we have to spin this wheel right here and figure out which player we're going to be adding, and it looks like we're going to be adding Brayden Schenn. Now you might be wondering, well, stick on the ice, why are you adding Brayden Schenn of all players? Well, I have selected the best teammates that Connor McDavid has had, and I've put him on this wheel right here. Now you might be thinking, well, Connor McDavid's never played in the NHL with Brayden Schenn, and that's technically true, but he has played with Brayden Schenn before. So back in 2018, Connor McDavid competed in the World Championships. He had teammates such as Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Ryan O'Reilly, Bo Horvat, Colton Parayko. Well, who else was on this team? Well, none other than Brayden Schenn. So at one point, Connor McDavid and Brayden Schenn were technically teammates. Therefore, Brayden Schenn, welcome to Connor McDavid's dream team. Now I'm going to be honest, when it comes to Connor McDavid's dream team, Brayden Schenn's actually one of the worst players that we could have started with because he's actually one of the lowest overalls. 84 overall Brayden Schenn is one of the lowest overalls when it comes to Connor McDavid's dream team. Because when you actually go back and look at all the players Connor McDavid has played alongside, whether it's World Juniors, World Championships, back in Juniors, the Four Nations tournament, Connor McDavid has played with some absolute superstars throughout his entire career. However, very few of those players have played with him while he was on the Edmonton Oilers. Now I already know there's going to be some comments saying, but how can the Edmonton Oilers be such a poorly run organization, but they made it to the Stanley Cup final in Game 7 last year? 2 words, 1 name, Peter Chiarelli. They had that man till 2019. So up until 2019, they were the worst run organization in the league. Then you have to factor in all the mistakes that Peter Chiarelli made that had to be fixed over the next 2 years. Now we're in 2021. So we're looking at 6-7 seasons with Connor McDavid on the team where they were an absolute dumpster fire. Over the past couple years, they've been a little bit better. Granted, they still make a ton of mistakes. Dylan Holloway leaving for the St. Louis Blues and basically replacing him with Victor Arvidsson and Jeff Skinner. Letting Broberg leave to the St. Louis Blues. Granted, Broberg didn't want to play in Edmonton because you screwed him around when he was there. Edmonton's front office has made so many bad decisions over the past decade, it's actually ridiculous. But you know what? We're not worried about Edmonton's front office. I'm taking over as GM now. This team's going to start seeing a lot more success. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit impressed with our new Edmonton Oilers. Yeah, we lost every game, but we scored 6 goals this season. I didn't think it would be possible for just Connor McDavid and Brayden Schenn to record 6 goals here, but these guys did the impossible. Connor McDavid, 4 goals, 2 assists. Brayden Schenn, he's picking up 2 goals, 4 assists. Both of these guys were locked in this season. You know what? Things were actually better than I thought they would be. Of course, the goaltending numbers are going to be an absolute disaster class here. Like, Eric Cartman's goals against was almost 19, and Ricky Lafleur's, his was above 19. So yeah, things are clearly not going well for the organization right now. But you know what? I am a little surprised Connor McDavid's picking up 6 points, but I think the only thing more surprising than that is the fact that over 60% of the people watching this video right now aren't even subscribed to the channel. If you're watching the content, you clearly enjoy it, so you might as well hit the button down below. So with our last spin, we added Brayden Schenn to the team. I think we're probably going to be getting an upgrade from Brayden Schenn. Sean Couturier is not too bad of a pickup, but once again, not the superstar I'm looking for. Now, back in 2016, we had one of the greatest tournaments of all time in the World Cup of Hockey. During that tournament, there was Team North America, the best players under 24. And who was on that team other than Connor McDavid? Sean Couturier, one of the assistant captains, playing for the Philadelphia Flyers. So Sean Couturier, welcome to Connor McDavid's dream team. So Sean Couturier is going to be the next player joining Connor McDavid's dream team. I'm not going to lie, we're not off to the greatest start here. Like, McDavid's played with some absolute superstars such as Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, and we've started off with Sean Couturier and Brayden Schenn. But you know what? We don't have to worry about it because it's only a matter of time before we get an absolute superstar to play alongside McDavid. So Connor McDavid's got some line mates here, Brayden Schenn and Sean Couturier. Of course, this team's not going to win a game this season because we still don't have a goaltender, but we should be able to pick up a few more goals. So now that we have a complete line here, the Edmonton Oilers are going to be picking up 38 goals this season. We're almost scoring half a goal per game. I'm going to be honest, this team's actually seen a lot more success than I thought they would be this early in the video. McDavid 37 points, 16 goals, 21 helpers. Schenn's picking up 34 points, Sean Couturier 32. But you know what? This isn't the thing I'm the most happy about. You know what I'm the most happy about? Who are Stanley Cup champs, who are the St. Louis Blues taking down the Carolina Hurricanes in a 7-game series. That's what's going to happen in the actual playoffs. The St. Louis Blues are going to go on another historic run, and we're taking home the Stanley Cup. But we can't worry about that right now. First, we have to worry about St. Louis actually making the playoffs because Calgary's on an absolute heater right now. Dylan Larkin's going to be the next player we're bringing to the team. That's going to be a nice addition alongside McDavid. Now, it's pretty easy easy to figure out where Dylan Larkin played with Connor McDavid because it's the exact same as Sean Couturier. All three of these guys ended up playing on Team North America together. So Sean Couturier has already been added. Now it's time to bring in Dylan Larkin. Now we've added another forward to the team in Dylan Larkin, and Dylan Larkin's going to be a great addition to the team, 89 overall. The only problem is he's a playmaker. We actually don't need more playmakers here. What we could really use is a couple snipers. But you know what? He's an 89 overall playmaker. If he has to score some goals, I think he'll find a way to score some goals. Now we're starting to build something pretty decent here. Dylan Larkin, Connor McDavid, Sean Couturier, Brayden Schenn. These are four really good forwards that we brought to the team. However, we are struggling when it comes to the defense, and we are struggling when it comes to goaltending. However, that will be addressed in the future. I'm not going to lie, this doesn't really make too much sense to me, but Dylan Larkin, you didn't make us significantly better. Also, the St. Louis Blues won the Stanley Cup not that long ago, like literally last season. Third last in the entire league, not too sure how that works. But we scored 42 goals this season, so one goal above half a goal per game. But how did we only score a few more goals considering we just added Dylan Larkin to the team? Like, Dylan Larkin replaced a 0 overall player. We definitely should have saw more success than that, but you know what? We're not going to worry about it because McDavid's about to get a huge upgrade here. I'm calling it right now. He's adding a defenseman. Now, how can I guarantee McDavid's going to be adding a defenseman here? I can't. I'm actually just yapping. Connor Hellebuyck. Okay, that's perfect. So at this point, all we have to do is stick with this North American team. And who is one of the goalies on that North American team? Connor Hellebuyck. So Connor McDavid's going to be getting Connor Hellebuyck. After all of these years, McDavid finally has his goalie. So we're going to be bringing arguably the best goaltender in the league to the team. Connor Hellebuyck, 94 overall. McDavid has a goalie now. Honestly, it brings a tear to your eye. Bro finally has a little support in between the pipes. Never thought I would see the day. So with the addition of Connor Hellebuyck, is this team going to be good enough to win one game this season? I don't know if we're good enough to win a game this season. However, I think we might be able to lose a game in overtime. We're going to have the offense here. So Connor McDavid, if you can pick up a hat trick and Connor Hellebuyck can pick up a shutout, we're going to be seeing some success. Okay, hold on. We did it. We actually did it here. The Edmonton Oilers won a game. They beat the LA Kings 2-1. Completely ignore this game right here. That game did not happen. But we beat the LA Kings. McDavid, Larkin, Brayden Schenn, Sean Couturier, Connor Hellebuyck. 5 NHL players on the team is all it took here, and we won a game. Nah, y'all gotta relocate. Well, LA has to relocate. Like St. Louis, you beat them in overtime, so you technically didn't lose the game, so y'all are big dog chilling. LA, on the other hand, nah, y'all gotta relocate. So after that victory, nothing else happened for the team, but Connor McDavid, 20 goals and 20 assists for 40 points. Dylan Larkin, 36 points. Sean Couturier, 29. Brayden Schenn's picking up 9, but we care about Connor Hellebuyck's numbers. 1 win this season. I didn't think it would be possible, but bro really did that for us. He also had a 915 to 499. A 915 is great considering how many shots we are allowing. The goals against we're not really too worried about, but there was one really interesting thing that happened this season. The Montreal Canadiens won the Stanley Cup. I feel like I don't see the Montreal Canadiens win that often. Like now that I'm actually seeing the Montreal Canadiens win here, out of all the rebuilds I've done so far in NHL 25, I actually can't recall the Montreal Canadiens winning a ton of Stanley Cups. I feel like this team doesn't win very often. I could be completely yapping, but when I saw the Montreal Canadiens as Stanley Cup champions, I feel like I don't see that very often. It looks like we're picking up another goaltender here. One of the best goaltenders the Edmonton Oilers have had over the past 10 years, Cam Talbot. Now, I certainly didn't expect for us to be getting both of our goaltenders this early in the video. Like, I think there's only 9 goalies on the wheel, but like 65 players combined. So the odds of us getting 2 goaltenders this early in the video and getting 2 goaltenders back to back, incredibly low, but we got a goaltending tandem, Cam Talbot, Connor Hellebuyck. We can certainly work with that. Also, in case you were wondering, here's all the years he played alongside McDavid. Yeah, bro played with McDavid for like 4 years. I guess it wouldn't hurt if I pointed that out. So we've got our goaltending tandem here, Connor Hellebuyck and Cam Talbot. As I said, I'm incredibly surprised that we got our goaltending tandem this early. But you know what? It's going to help us win some additional games this season. Probably not. If anything, we're just going to lose a couple more games in overtime. Then again, us winning last season I think was a complete fluke. Do not be surprised if we don't win any games this season. Now I guess I made the right prediction, us not winning more games than we did last season, because the game froze after 16 games. So yeah, clearly we can't win any more games if we can't simulate anymore. So the only thing we can do from here is spin the wheel once again. Hopefully we can get a defenseman, because I think that's what we really need here. And it looks like that's what we're getting, but we're not getting the defenseman I wanted. We're getting Jacob Trouba. Not the end of the world, but there were better options. Now this has to be a complete coincidence at this point. We got another player from Team North America in Jacob Trouba. Keep in mind, we have McDavid's World Junior days. We have his junior years. We have his years on the Edmonton Oilers, World Championships, World Cup, but even with all that, we still keep coming back to Team North America, and that's what we're doing with Jacob Trouba. So we're bringing our first defenseman to the team in Jacob Trouba, 85 overall defensive defenseman. I don't think there's actually that many defensive defensemen on this wheel, so you know what, maybe Jacob Jacob Trouba is a better selection than I thought. We got ourselves our first defenseman, 85 overall Trouba. This team's starting to shape up pretty good. So our forward core and goaltending tandem are going to be staying the same here. However, we got one major upgrade when it comes to the defense. Jacob Trouba is going to be leading the way from here on out, or at least until we get a better defenseman, because I know there are better defensemen on the wheel. Now, Jacob Trouba, I want to thank you. You helped this team a ton here. Not only did we win 2 games, but we ended up also losing 3 games in overtime here. We scored 60 goals this season. Imagine scoring 60 goals in a season, but also winning 2 of those games. Like, we weren't even averaging a goal per game, yet we still found a way to win a couple games here. Connor McDavid, 53 points, Dylan Larkin, 47, Sean Couturier, 41. The team stepped up this season. Jacob Trouba, you were a great player for us, 10 points, 2 goals, 8 assists, and of course, when it comes to goaltending, Connor Hellebuyck's going to be the guy for us. 2 wins, 1 OT loss. Cam Talbot's picking up 2 overtime losses here. I like the way this team's shaping up. As long as we can bring a superstar defenseman like Cale Makar to the team, I think we'll be in an amazing spot. But we might not even need Cale Makar, because Connor McDavid, he's played with a lot of great defensemen over his career. So Jacob Trouba wasn't a bad defenseman, but I know there's better defensemen out there, so hopefully we can bring one of those to the team. Instead, we're going to be walking away with Matt Barzal. I mean, we continue to bring great forwards to the team. The only problem is they're all playmakers. We need a sniper. So Matt Barzal is going to be another nice addition to the team. We're going to be bringing some more speed in. However, he's a playmaker, and we don't need more playmakers here. 87 overall Matt Barzal. We also don't need more centermen. So far, every forward we brought to the team has been a centerman, but you know what? We're still making it work. Now, we're absolutely loading up our first line here. It's going to be Dylan Larkin, Connor McDavid, Matt Barzal. I'm going to need somebody to shoot the puck here, but I think Connor McDavid is going to be able to do that. We've seen this man score goals before, so if he has to score goals on this first line, I think he's going to be able to do so. So Matt Barzal is going to help us win a couple more games this season. We're going to be winning 4 games, and on top of that, we're officially over a goal per game, 89 goals this season. The offense is flying for the alternate universe Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid, 74 points this season. He was looking incredible. 48 goals as well. As I said, if someone has to score goals in the first line, it's going to be McDavid, and that's exactly what he did this season. Larkin's picking up 54 points, and Matt Barzal 53. And then when it comes to goaltending, I'm expecting Connor Hellebuyck did all the work. That's exactly what happened. 4 wins, 1 OT loss, a 910 to 508. Each spin is going to be adding another superstar to this team. And so far, I've liked what we've gotten. However, we could use another defenseman or even a sniper. So let's give the wheel another spin here, and hopefully we can bring a sniper to the team, or even someone like Cale Makar. I wouldn't be against that. Drew Doughty, I can live with that. We're going to be bringing Drew Doughty to the team. That's not too bad of a pickup. Now, of course, it wasn't that long ago that Connor McDavid and Drew Doughty were on the same team. All we have to do is go back to Four Nations, where Drew Doughty was a part of the Four Nations team alongside Connor McDavid. Now, it's a little bit unfortunate that we're not bringing a prime Drew Doughty to the team, because if we brought a prime Drew Doughty, this team would be looking incredible. However, let's not act like the current Drew Doughty's terrible by any means. Like, he's an 88 overall still, but he's not prime Drew Doughty, and prime Drew Doughty was something different. Now, Jacob Trouba, although you are a right side defenseman, you're going to play on the left side, so we can have a complete pairing here. Trouba and Drew Doughty are going to do some damage together. We finally have a complete lineup that we can run now. When we take the opening draw, Dylan Larkin, Connor McDavid, and Matt Barzal are going to be in the ice. When it comes to our defensive pairing, it's going to be Jacob Trouba and Drew Doughty, and then we're going to have Connor Hellebuyck in between the pipes. There will be a few moments in the game where we don't have 0 overalls on the ice, and that should lead to a lot of success. Now, we're getting pretty close to a 10-win campaign with the Edmonton Oilers, a 7-73-2 record, 92 goals scored this season. Defensively, I can guarantee we were way better. By having a complete defensive pairing, that's going to be helping a lot here. Connor McDavid, 71 points, but bro just forgot how to score goals this season. He only picked up 28. Yeah, it's going to make a massive difference. I don't know why there was that much of a difference between last season and this season, but we're just going to completely ignore it. Drew Doughty, 18 points, 4 goals, 14 assists. You knew what your role was on this team, and you stepped up and did what you could. Connor Hellebuyck, you're picking up 5 wins this season, but it's good to see Cam Talbot supporting a little bit here. He's picking up 2 wins and 1 overtime loss. He's figured out what his role on this team is, and now we're starting to roll ourselves. The Winnipeg Jets are Stanley Cup champions, but that's going to be the Edmonton Oilers in probably 10, 15 years. Well, I guess it's not technically years, it's 10 to 15 more spins. You get the point. It's time for our next spin, and it looks like we're adding another defenseman, another right side defenseman, Chris Tanev. Now, back during the 2016 World Championships, Connor McDavid was coming off his rookie season, and of course, the Edmonton Oilers didn't do too much. However, while he was on the World Championship team, they did end up winning gold, and who was on that team alongside Connor McDavid? Chris Tanev. So Chris Tanev, it's time for you to join the alternate universe Edmonton Oilers and give Connor McDavid a little more support. So we're going to be adding another right side defenseman, but you know what? Who cares what side they're playing on? We just need defensemen here, and Chris Tanev is going to be a nice addition to the team. Another defensive defenseman. More than likely in the future, he's going to play some third pairing minutes for us, but you know what? As long as he can help keep the puck out of the net more, we're going to see more success. Now, it's actually good that we're bringing in defensive defensemen like Chris Tanev, because when it comes to the offense, this team's not going to have a problem scoring goals. What they might struggle with is keeping the puck out of their own net. However, with two great defensive defensemen on this team, I don't think we should have to worry about that. We're going to be able to keep the puck out of this net in the future. When it comes to keeping the puck out of the net this season, there's still way too many 0 overalls. So yeah, we're going to be allowing a ton of goals here. But if we're lucky, we might win 10 games. Now, we just ran into a lot of bad luck this season. Although we were actually better, like we scored more goals this season and we allowed less goals, we won less games. We only won 3 games this season. That's just bad luck. Offensively, the team was better. Defensively, the team was better. Success-wise, we weren't any better this season. Connor McDavid, 38 goals, 37 helpers, 75 points. Chris Tanev was a decent addition. 1 goal, 14 assists for 15 points. He held up his end defensively. We just weren't able to win any extra games this season. Goaltending was better from both of these guys, or at least I think it was better. I know for a fact Cam Talbot was better. A 916 to 428 is certainly better than what he had last season. Connor Hellebuyck, on the other hand, I actually can't recall what your numbers were last season. All I know is, although we didn't see more success when it came to our record, offensively we were better, defensively we were better, and that's really all that matters. But that was last season. Now we're focused on more success. We want to be winning 10 plus games next season, and Aaron Ekblad, you're not going to help us win 10 plus games. Or at least I don't think you will. Now, I don't think we've seen this team today, Team North America, and once again, Aaron Ekblad is going to be joining the team. Completely ignore that he's actually suspended, and he'll return sometime in the playoffs, but he's going to be joining the new Edmonton Oilers team. How have we landed on Team North America so many times? Like, seriously, there was 65 plus players on our wheel, and most of them weren't from Team North America. But somehow, even though that was the case, we keep bringing in players from Team North America, but what can I really complain about? We're still bringing in solid assets. So I guess we're just going to keep on bringing defensemen to the team, but I'm not against that because we're bringing in quality defensemen. The next defenseman is going to be Aaron Ekblad, 87 overall. He's going to end up playing some top pairing minutes, and that means Jacob Trouba is going to be moving down. So we're going to have Jacob Trouba and Chris Tanev on the second pairing, and then Aaron Ekblad and Drew Doughty are going to hold down the first. The defense is really shaping up here. Now, the defense is looking pretty solid here. Just completely ignore the fact that every defenseman we brought into the team so far is a right defenseman. We're just going to pretend that's not true. Chris Tanev, you're a left defenseman. Aaron Ekblad, you're a left defenseman. Ignore the fact that it says the right defenseman. Nope, that's not true. They are left defensemen. They are left defensemen moving forward in this new universe. They play on the left side. So we've gone ahead and added a handful of defensemen to the team in the last couple spins. You know what we desperately need? A sniper. We got to bring a sniper in. We got to start scoring some more goals. Whether that sniper is Leon Draisaitl or not, I don't really care. Like, we could bring in another playmaker, Nathan MacKinnon. Nathan MacKinnon can score goals. We've seen it time and time again. He'd be a great addition to the team. Connor Hellebuyck, 5 wins this season. Cam Talbot's picking up 1. We just have to start scoring some goals here. No more bringing defensemen to the team for now. No more bringing in goaltenders. Let's get some snipers. All right, we know what we need here. We need another sniper, so give me a guy like Leon Draisaitl, and then I'll be happy. Bo Horvat's going to be brought to the team. At least he's not a playmaker, but he's not the sniper I was looking for. So back during the 2018 World Hockey Championships, of course, we all know Brain Shen played with Connor McDavid because he was the first player that we added to the team. But who else played with Connor McDavid during that year? Bo Horvat. Now he's going to be the next addition. 3 goals, 4 assists for 7 points during that World Championship run. I'm happy to say Bo Horvat's not a playmaker, so he's going to be addressing a role that needs to be filled on this team. So we've already added 1 player from the New York Islanders, but we might as well add another here, and that's going to be Bo Horvat. He's coming in at an 87 overall, the same overall as Matt Barzal, but as we know, he's not a playmaker, and that's really the only thing we care about here. We're bringing a 2-way forward to the team. We know that Bo Horvat's been able to score goals in the past. He's been able to pick up 30 plus goals multiple times, and hopefully he can do that again here. Alright, so we officially have 2 complete lines here. We have 2 complete defensive pairings, and we have 2 goaltenders. Our 3rd and 4th line is absolutely atrocious right now. It's still full of 0 overalls. Our defense's 3rd pairing is bad because it's full of 0 overalls, but we have a top 6 and we have a top 4, and that's all we need. Or at least I'm kind of hoping that's all we need. Let's win 10 games this season. If we don't win 10 games, then I do think there is something wrong with this team. Now, Bo Horvat, I didn't realize you were him. I didn't realize you were the most valuable player to this team. A 1961-2 record. Nah, this team's really taking a huge step up here. 170 goals, over 2 goals per game. We've solved all the issues here. Now, I thought our record was really good here, but I don't care about Connor McDavid's offensive production. I don't care about Dylan Larkin's. I don't care about Matt Barzal's. What do I care about? The plus minuses here. McDavid, 0. Dylan Larkin, plus 11. Matt Barzal, plus 12. We actually had players on this team who didn't have negative plus minuses. Nah, that's how you know this new Edmonton Oilers team is just built different. Connor Hellebuyck's picking up 2 shutouts. Yeah, we just need a couple more forwards and we're bringing home a Stanley Cup. I think we might be able to win with 0 overalls on our 4th line based on how this team's performing right now. The New York Rangers are Stanley Cup champions. Y'all better watch watch out because this Edmonton Oilers team's on the come up. Like at this rate, we might not even need an elite sniper like Leon Draisaitl. We just might need a really good forward. Colton Parayko is going to be joining the team next. Not a forward, but we'll still take him because he's a St. Louis Blues legend. Now, there's actually been a couple instances where Colton Parayko has played alongside Connor McDavid. The most recent, of course, was the Four Nations tournament, but he also played on Team North America with Connor McDavid. Who would have thought selecting another player who at one point played on Team North America with Connor McDavid? You would think that would be impossible to find, but apparently it's very common. Alright, so we're adding another defenseman to the team because clearly we don't have enough defensemen here. We're going to be adding one of the best from the St. Louis Blues and Colton Parayko, 86 overall. Once again, we're adding a right side defenseman. I don't think we have any of those on the team yet. So our defense is just about complete here. We just need one left side defenseman because we don't have any. Every player we've brought to the team has been a right defenseman. Give me at least one left side defenseman. So with the addition of Colton Parayko, we've done something that I didn't expect we'd be able to do quite yet. We won 20 games, a 20-55-7 record. We were only 9 points off the Columbus Blue Jackets, who only won 26 games this season. We didn't even score over 2 goals per game this season, yet we were only 9 points back of the Blue Jackets. Give me one more forward and this team won't be dead last in the entire league. Everyone on the team had negative plus minus, so we technically took a bit of a step back from last season, but give me one elite forward. Give me a Leon Draisaitl, give me a Sidney Crosby, give me a Sam Reinhart, give me a Nathan MacKinnon. I'll take any of those guys. Connor Hellebuyck was incredible this season. He did everything he could, but we just need more scoring here. The Dallas Stars Stanley Cup champions. If you can give me one of those elite players that I just mentioned, we're going to be in an incredible spot. Basically, whatever you do here, don't give me another defenseman. I am sick and tired of defensemen. I need a sniper. I am no longer sick and tired of defensemen. I am so happy we just brought another defenseman to the team because that defenseman was Cale Makar. I take it all back. We are happy with defensemen. I couldn't care less we brought another right defenseman to the team. Cale Makar, welcome to the new look Edmonton Oilers, the alternate universe Edmonton Oilers. Yeah, I don't care anymore. I do not care if we only have right defensemen on this team. One of those defensemen is now Cale Makar. So of course I really wanted a defenseman with that last spin. Why would I not want a defenseman, especially when that defenseman is 95 overall Cale Makar? He's going to complete our defensive core here. Yeah, we're not going to need a bottom six. Our defense is so elite, especially with Cale Makar now leading the way. But of course, I always wanted Cale Makar. With that last spin, I only wanted a defenseman. I only wanted Cale Makar. I definitely didn't want a forward there. Absolutely not. Now our defense is officially complete. Cale Makar, Drew Doughty, Colton Parayko, Aaron Ekblad, Jacob Trouba, Chris Tanev. This is a really good defense that we can certainly build around, but we have to start building around them. We have 6 forwards and 6 defensemen. We don't even have a bottom 6 here. So yeah, let's start bringing in some forwards. No more defensemen. We can't afford to take any more on. Now we might have added an elite defenseman to Cale Makar to the team, but that doesn't solve the problem, which is our bottom 6. Like we still have 6-0 overalls on our bottom 6, and until that changes, the team's not going to see any more success than what we saw this season. Connor McDavid, 94 points. He continues to do his thing here. Dylan Larkin, Bo Horvat, they were great. Matt Barzal had a positive plus minus. So did Sean Couturier. So did Braden Shen. We had a lot of guys with a positive plus minus. Our entire top 6 had a positive plus minus. The bottom 6 is what held us back here. Connor Hellebuyck, Cam Talbot. Y'all really can't do anything until we prove that bottom 6. Like whenever that bottom 6 is on the ice, we're basically playing 2-on-5. It's impossible for us to win. The Tampa Bay Lightning are Stanley Cup champions, but we're about to add a forward to our bottom 6, and that's going to change everything. Like there's still a ton of great forwards remaining. Nathan MacKinnon, Leon Draisaitl, Sidney Crosby, and who are we getting? One of those great forwards in Braden Point. Now we're going to keep things pretty simple here. Colton Parayko, you were brought in from Four Nations. Cale Makar, you were brought in from Four Nations. You know who else was brought in from Four Nations? Braden Point. Now, Braden Point might be a playmaker, but he's a playmaker that can score goals. He's going to be playing on the top line alongside Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid, Dylan Larkin, Braden Point is our top line. They're going to be putting in a lot of work here, and I don't know if anyone's going to be able to stop that big 3. So Connor McDavid, Braden Point, and Dylan Larkin. If you guys can't lead us to 30 wins this season, then I have no clue what you're doing. Our second line's looking pretty solid here. Braden Shen's going to be leading that bottom 6, even though he has basically nothing at his side. He's going to create something out of nothing here. All right, we got to settle some things down here because this was absolutely ridiculous. The Edmonton Oilers dead last in the entire league, only 23 wins. I think we all expected that. Connor McDavid, 96 points, not much of a surprise. He had a positive plus minus, 50 goals as well. Him and Braden Point were pretty solid together, and even goaltending wasn't that bad. Connor Hellebuyck, 15 wins, 3 shots, a 914, a 356. But here's where things get stupid. The Anaheim Ducks are the Stanley Cup champions. Excuse me? The Anaheim Ducks are the Stanley Cup champions, taking down the Tampa Bay Lightning in a 5-game series. The Anaheim Ducks lost 5 games in the postseason. This team went 16-5. The Anaheim Ducks, the 2025 Anaheim Ducks, went 16-5 in the postseason. All right, well, I got nothing to say about that. Let's just go spin the wheel again, because that's absurd. So Nathan McKinnon's still on the board, Sidney Crosby's on the board, Reinhardt's on the board. Are we going to get any of those three players? Austin Matthews. I'll certainly take Austin Matthews. He's going to be a great acquisition for this team. Now, I know it's been a little bit of a joke in this video talking about how we keep landing on Team North America, but this is actually starting to get out of hand. Austin Matthews, welcome to the team. Selected from Team North America. How have we landed on this team so many times? I couldn't tell you, but I'm perfectly fine with that because we're getting Austin Matthews. Now we finally got our first sniper. Now, though this guy hasn't been scoring a lot of goals this season, he was last season. Austin Matthews, one of the better goal scorers in the league. He's now going to be joining the new look Edmonton Oilers. So our first line's looking pretty spectacular. Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews, and Braden Point. Then Matt Barzal, Dylan Larkin, and Bo Horvat are going to hold it down the second line. We need a couple more pure scorers here, and then we'll be set. So with the addition of Austin Matthews, it finally happened. The Edmonton Oilers are no longer dead last in the entire league. 26th with a 37-39-6 record. This team is 100% making the playoffs next year. There is nothing that's going to be able to stop this team. Once we add one more NHL superstar who Connor McDavid has played with, nobody's going to be able to stop us. McDavid, Matthews, Point, all of them were over 100 points this season. They were all locked in. Connor Hellebuyck was looking incredible. We just need one more forward. One more elite forward is going to be the difference for this team. Then we're going to be seeing some postseason action. Colorado Avalanche are Stanley Cup champions, but not for long. Also, through adding Connor McDavid, we can now see everyone left on the wheel, so we have an idea of who we're going to be bringing to the team, and it looks like it's going to be Zach Hyman, one of Connor McDavid's current teammates. Now, we're finally going to be adding one of Connor McDavid's current teammates. That's going to be Zach Hyman, 87 overall power forward. So he might not be a sniper, but he is a power forward, and he knows how to score goals. He knows how to play with McDavid, so he's going to be a perfect add to this team. So the top six is looking absolutely elite here. Of course, we're keeping that first line the same because they were incredible, but now we've got Zach Hyman, Dylan Larkin, and Matt Barzal holding it down the second line. I'm really contemplating moving Matt Barzal down to the third line because I feel like if we bring Bo Horvat up, we're going to be able to score a little bit more. We don't need a surplus of playmakers here. Actually, we're going to change the lines up completely. We're going to have Bo Horvat playing center, Zach Hyman going to play on the right wing, Dylan Larkin going to play on the left wing. These are the lines that we're going to be running here. I'm actually changing these lines up as well, just so we can get players in their secondary positions. These are the lines we're running here. We're going to score some goals and we're going to make the playoffs. Now, who cares if we don't have a fourth line? We don't need a fourth line. We're first in the entire league, a 49-22-11 record. If we're going to lose in the postseason, it's because our fourth line is going to let us down. Offensively, nobody can compete with us. Connor McDavid, 129 points, 58 goals, 71 helpers. Austin Matthews, 64 goals, 57 assists for 121 points. Braden Point, 107. Three guys over 100 points here. And then when it comes to the rest of the team, they were stepping up, especially Connor Hellebuyck, 39 wins, 5 shots, a 9-11, and a goals against of exactly 3. The only reason he has goals against of 3 is because our fourth line is terrible. As long as we don't play the fourth line here, I think we'll be able to win a Stanley Cup. We're going to be taking on Utah in the first round. Hopefully our fourth line doesn't touch the ice. So we got our first matchup, Edmonton taking on Utah. I feel like we should be able to take down Utah here. We're going to be winning the first 2, but we're dropping the next 2 after that. We can't lose 3 in a row here, and we're not going to be doing that. A big 2-1 victory, close out game number 6, and we'll be moving on. Now, I'm not feeling too confident with the team right now. Like, I feel like we should have swept Utah. The fact that we're not sweeping Utah is having me a little bit concerned here. But you know what? We still have a lot of great talent on this team. You never know who's going to step up when you need them to. Like, at the end of the day, our first line is Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews, and Braden Point. I feel like that should be enough. We just about got swept. Alright, let's make a 3-1 series comeback. Technically, it was a 3-0 series comeback at one point, but we won game number 4. I thought our offense was going to be good enough here, but apparently not. Our defense is just too bad right now. We just don't have enough depth here. Our fourth line is atrocious, but our fourth line's not going to be hurting us too much, I guess, because we're going to win the third period, and that means we're winning the game. So we've won back-to-back. We got to make it 3 straight, then we got to make it 4 straight. We're going to be exchanging goals in the first period. Moving into the second, it's going to be a scoreless one. We got to show up in the third period yet again here, and is that going to be happening? No, it isn't, because we're going to show up in overtime and Connor McDavid's going to pick up the winner. That is not Connor McDavid, that is Brant Clark. So that means we're eliminated in 6 games to the LA Kings. You know what? Considering this was the first time we made the postseason, losing in the second round really isn't the end of the world. So we might have lost to LA in the second round, but this team's still giving me a lot of hope. Like, our fourth line's the only thing that held us back here. Our forward core is spectacular, the defense is great, and goaltending's amazing. The problem is we have a fourth line consisting of 0 overall players, so whenever those guys touch the ice, we're allowing goals. However, Connor Hellebuyck had a .930 and to 231 and we still couldn't win. So now I'm actually more concerned than I thought I was. Like, who cares if we have 0 overalls on the 4th line when Connor Hellebuyck's putting up those numbers? We should find a way to win. The next player we're going to be adding is Jordan Eberle, and I feel like this one goes without saying. He played on the Edmonton Oilers with Connor McDavid. Now, if you're questioning whether or not Jordan Eberle played with Connor McDavid, well, first of all, he was drafted by the Edmonton Oilers 22nd overall, but this man played a handful of years in Edmonton before going to the Islanders. 2 of those seasons he played with Connor McDavid, the 2015-2016 season and the 2016-2017 season before moving to the Islanders. So yeah, Jordan Eberle and Connor McDavid, they definitely played alongside each other. So with Jordan Eberle playing some 3rd line minutes for us, Braden Schen's going to move down to the 4th line. He was the first player that we brought to the team, and now he's playing 4th line minutes. But that just shows you how much amazing talent McDavid has played with throughout the years. Whether it's World Juniors, World Championships, the World Cup, 4 Nations, or even in his NHL career, McDavid's played with some pretty solid talent. Okay, so things did not go our way. Not only are we 8th in the entire league with a 46-28-8 record, but something incredibly bad happened this season. Austin Matthews led us in scoring. He picked up 116 points, 65 goals, 51 assists. So currently, Austin Matthews is leading the team over Connor McDavid. So we are 1000% going to lose in the first round here. I don't care how good Connor Hellebuyck was, because he was actually spectacular, a 930 and a 229. But this doesn't matter, because we're going to lose in the first round. We're taking on the Minnesota Wild. Let's get this over with quick. I mean, there is one simple thing we could do here. Allow Connor McDavid to lead this team again. If Austin Matthews is leading the team, we're losing in the first round, and I think we could potentially lose in the first round here. Connor Hellebuyck hasn't been the greatest. In 2 of those games, he allowed 6 goals. He's allowing 5 here. We're really about to lose in the first round with Austin Matthews leading the way. Like, that's actually wild. Bro leads the team in scoring, only for us to lose in the first round here. We're going to need a big 3rd period if we want to make the comeback in this game, and that's just not happening. So Austin Matthews led the team, and we lost in the first round. You can't even make stuff like that up. Like, we really gave Bro his first opportunity to lead this team, and that's exactly what he did. Oh boy, we're building the Toronto Maple Leafs here. Well, this team will never win a Stanley Cup, so we all know where Mitch Marner's coming from, of course, assisting on the game winner in 4 Nations. We're selecting this man from 4 Nations, so we've got Brain Point from the 4 Nations team, we've got Mitch Marner, we've got Drew Doughty, we've got Cale Makar, we got Colton Parayko. We've added 5 players from 4 Nations alone, and we're still not done yet. Now, Mitch Marner is certainly going to be one of the better players riding to the team, 93 overall, but after losing in the first round, I don't particularly want to add another player from the Toronto Maple Leafs, a team known for only losing in the first round. I just feel like that isn't a smart decision. Now, I was really contemplating putting Mitch Marner on the top line with Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews, but that's just too much Maple Leafs on one line together. So we're going to do Connor McDavid, Brain Point, Austin Matthews. These 3 guys have looked amazing alongside each other, so we might as well just keep them together. Then we're going to have Mitch Marner, Dylan Larkin, and Zach Hyman on the 2nd line. The bottom 6 is really shaping up here. We only have 1 0 overall player left. So we brought Mitch Marner to the team, and then we led the NHL in wins. However, we're going to be finishing 2nd because the Winnipeg Jets lost more games in overtime. But it's clear that the Edmonton Oilers are the better team this season. We had a better offense. Their defense was slightly better than ours, but we technically have the same goalie as them. They have Connor Hellebuyck. We got Connor Hellebuyck. And in front of Connor Hellebuyck, we certainly have a better team than the Winnipeg Jets. Connor McDavid, Brain Point, Austin Matthews, of course, all 3 of these guys are over 100 points once again. Then we're going to have 2 other point-a-game scorers in Mitch Marner and Cale Makar. We just need all of these guys to show up when it matters. Connor Hellebuyck, 47 wins, 4 shots, a 918 to 261. Whatever happens here, whether we win a Stanley Cup or we don't, we can't bring more Toronto Maple Leafs to the team with our next spin. We have the Vancouver Canucks in the first round. How about we just close it out this season? Like, before we even get into this matchup, I want to point out we won 15 more games than the Vancouver Canucks. So let that be known, we won 15 more games than this team. So far, we split the series, and the only reason we've won 2 games is we have 2 shutouts so far. We're winning game number 5 6-2. Can we close out in game number 6? We need game 7. We added Mitch Marner to the team, and now we're in game 7, even though we won 15 more games than the Vancouver Canucks. I don't care if we have 1-0 overall on this team. We are a significantly better team than the Vancouver Canucks. We are about to lose to the Vancouver Canucks. Never mind, let's just score 5 goals in the 3rd period. That works. So yeah, we're staying alive here. Probably shouldn't be, but we'll take it. So we got past Vancouver, but they put up a pretty strong fight. Hopefully Calgary doesn't do the same. So Vancouver took us to 7 games. Calgary's not going to do the same thing. We're either going to sweep them or they're going to eliminate us. I think we're going to go to 7 games again, unless we can close out in 6 games here. Why are we just not performing? All right, we're off to game 7 once again. Why is this Edmonton Oilers team just not performing? Like, we know what our forward core is, we know what our defensive core is, and we know what our goaltending looks like. I feel like we should be dominating right now. We have a 2-goal lead entering the 3rd period, but this team's really just not performing. Matthews has scored a goal, Ekblad scored a goal. Who's going to pick up a goal in the 3rd period? Drew Doughty and Connor McDavid. So Connor Hellebuyck, another shutout here. But yeah, bro's been carrying way too hard. Like, how Hellbuck's picked up 3 shutouts and we only have 8 victories. You're not giving me a lot of confidence. No, like almost half of our wins have come because of a Connor Hellbuck shutout, and that's not going to be sustainable, especially since we're taking on Connor Hellbuck. It's Hellbuck versus Hellbuck. Whoever has the better offense is going to win this series. So here we go. Edmonton taking on Winnipeg. We're going to be dropping the first 3 games. That is something. All right, so let's just get this over with pretty quick here. I think we all know we're going to be losing this series unless we have some spectacular comeback and our Connor Hellbuck picks up another couple shutouts. We're allowing 4 goals in the second period. So this game's over. Okay, he allowed 8 unanswered. Well, technically Connor Hellbuck didn't allow 8 unanswered because Cam Talbot allowed these 4 goals. So yeah, that was an interesting game to say the least. After picking up the first goal of the game, we proceeded to allow 8 straight goals. I don't even know what to say about that. Connor McDavid led the way, no surprise, 10 goals, 14 assists, 24 points. Brain Point had 21 points. Austin Matthews, 19 points. So we had 3 point a game scorers, but that just wasn't enough here. Connor Hellbuck, I don't really know how good you were. Like, you had 3 shutouts and 9 wins, so 33% of your wins came from shutouts. You had a 914, a 259, but in that conference finals where you took on your alternate self, you weren't good enough. I guess technically we have Connor Hellbuck's alternate self. They have the real Connor Hellbuck. Yeah, this is getting too deep. Let's just spin the wheel. Like, who has the real Connor Hellbuck? We had the alternate version. They had the real version. All I know is Ryan Sidney Crosby, and there's no way we lose now. We have a guy that knows how to win in the postseason. This team's ready to win it all now. So with our last spin, we add Mitch Martin to the team. But now it's time for us to get an even bigger upgrade. Sidney Crosby, welcome to the team from Cole Harbour, Nova Scotia. It's time for him to show Connor McDavid a thing or two. So Sidney Crosby is going to be the final addition to the team, or at least I'm hoping he's the final addition. Because if Sidney Crosby isn't enough for us to win here, I don't know who will be. Like, seriously, Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews, Cale Makar, Connor Hellbuck, Braden Point, Mitch Marner, and you're telling me the rest of these guys aren't enough to win a Stanley Cup? Like, that's just ridiculous. So our team's finally complete here. Connor McDavid, Braden Point, Austin Matthews on the first line. Technically, I could play Sidney Crosby on the first line, but Matthews, McDavid, and Braden Point have played so well together, I just want to keep them together. The second line's going to be Zach Hyman, Mitch Marner, Sidney Crosby. Dylan Larkin, Bo Horvat, and Matt Barzal are going to be the third line. And then on the fourth line, we're going to have Jordan Eberle, Braden Shen, and Sean Couturier. That should be good enough. When it comes to the defense, we have Drew Doughty and Cale Makar as the top pairing. Aaron Ekblad and Colton Parayko was the second. Then Chris Tanev and Jacob Trouba on the third pairing. They're going to be playing some amazing defense. And then to round off this entire team, we have 94 overall Connor Hellbuck in between the pipes as our starter. Cam Talbot is the backup. If this team's not good enough to win, I don't know what team would be. So with a complete Edmonton Oilers team, we're winning 61 games this season. First in the entire league. The best offense with the best defense. The only team to allow less than 200 goals this season. That's how good we were. Austin Matthews led the team though. He scored 71 goals, but he led the team. We are going to lose. We are 1000% losing in the first round. No matter how good this team looked, we're about to lose in the first round because Matthews is currently leading the team. If Austin Matthews is leading the team, you know we're destined for failure. So let's just embrace this loss to the Chicago Blackhawks, who somehow made the postseason. We dropped game number 1 5-2. How does that even happen? Luckily, we've smartened up. We've won 3 straight games. Can we make it 4 straight? We're moving on to the second round. But in all seriousness, how did we lose game number 1? That shouldn't have been possible. Now this next series is make or break for us. We won 21 more games than the Vegas Golden Knights during the regular season. Watch us lose this in 5. We won 21 more games than this team. They finished the season going 3-7, and they're about to beat this Edmonton Oilers team. We don't stand a chance against them. They're going to dominate us. How did I predict that? How did I know that that exact thing was going to happen here? We're losing to the Vegas Golden Knights in 5 games. Unless we win this game right here, which is possible because the Edmonton Oilers do have a lot of talent here, but that's not going to be happening. We really lost to the Vegas Golden Knights in the second round, a team we had 21 more wins than. No, that's actually funny. Oh, never mind, that explains it all. Mitch Marner led our team in scoring. Yep, I gotta take it all back. I know exactly why we lost. So I think we all know what the problem is. There's just way too many Toronto Maple Leafs on this team. We gotta change that. We almost got Leon Draisaitl. Instead, we're getting Alex DeBrincat. So it's time for us to go way, way back, all the way to Connor McDavid's junior days, his final season with the Erie Otters, and that's where he played with Alex DeBrincat. Now, although it's been a long time since these guys played together, they have played together, so that means we can add DeBrincat to the team. Now, hopefully DeBrincat's going to be that missing piece for us, although I don't know if he will be, because what role does he really serve on this team? He's adding more scoring, but we don't need more scoring. Technically, he'd be an upgrade for the bottom 6, but we don't really need much of an upgrade for the bottom 6. We just need players to show up in the postseason. Truthfully, that's all we need. Okay, so we're going to take a different approach this season. The first line's going to stay the exact same. DeBrincat, I want some more scoring on the top 6. So you're going to play alongside Sidney Crosby and Zach Hyman, meaning thinking Mitch Marner, who is a 93 overall, is going to play some third line minutes for us. Does that make a lot of sense? Not really. Now, I don't know if this is a good sign or if this is a bad sign. We finished second in the entire league, but the only team ahead of us, the Toronto Maple Leafs. So they got to deal with the President's Trophy curse. I think we might be cooking this season. Austin Matthews did lead the team in points though, so that does have me a little bit concerned. McDavid 101, Braden Point only 90. Oh no, the first line isn't producing like they used to be, so we're in a bit of trouble here. Connor Hellebuyck, you continue to put up great numbers, but can you post these numbers in the playoffs? Because I'm going to need you to post these numbers in the playoffs. We've got the Nashville Predators in the first round. It's time for the Edmonton Oilers to finally get Connor McDavid his cup. This has taken far too long. Connor McDavid should have 5 Stanley Cups by now, but it's time for him to finally get his first. Connor Hellebuyck has been an absolute stud so far. We might be dropping game number 4. We'll just close out in game number 5 though and move on. A 6-1 victory, that's what I needed. And you know what? Things haven't been working out for us. Let's just keep things rolling. We can't stop to look at the postseason bracket. If we look at the postseason bracket, that's bad luck. We got Vegas in the second round. I refuse to lose to this team multiple times in this video. We're taking down Vegas and we're going to be moving on here. We have a 3-1 series lead once again. If we closed out in game 5, we would have been advancing, but we'll just close out in game 6 in advance. A 9-3 victory. The team knows how to score right now. We have the Colorado Avalanche in the conference finals. Just keep on winning. We got momentum right now. We got to build on it. We're going to be splitting the series with Colorado. Game 5 is huge. We can't afford to lose this one, and we lost in overtime. Why am I not surprised? We have to win back-to-back games here. I know we can do that. The offense just needs to score. Connor Hellebuyck can keep the puck out of the net, but if we can't score, it doesn't matter if Connor Hellebuyck keeps the puck out of the net. Drew Doughty and Dylan Larkin are picking up 2 big goals. We need to hold it down the third period in order to advance here. That didn't just happen. We didn't just allow 4 goals in the third period. No, this is getting ridiculous. All right, I've reached that point. I only want Nathan MacKinnon and Nathan MacKinnon alone. He is the only guy that will help us. We were 2 players off of Nathan MacKinnon. Instead, we're getting JT Miller. Now, of course, there is only one logical place that Connor McDavid could have played with JT Miller. Team North America. It's always Team North America. So JT Miller, you're going to be joining the team. But you know what? We got to change things up big time here. If we actually want to win a Stanley Cup here, we got to make some risky moves, and I know what that risky move is going to be. Okay, this is probably the stupidest thing I've ever done, but also makes the most sense. Whenever Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner lead this team, we fail. So what I do, I threw them on the 4th line so they're not on the ice that much. Is this thought process going to work for us? Probably not. But you know what? McDavid's here to lead the way, and if McDavid's leading, we're winning. Also, I guess we could switch up and do something like this. Crosby, you're playing first line minutes with McDavid and Braden Point. We need some winners playing first line minutes for us. So we changed things up here, and we're still first in the entire league. A 56-22-4 record. Good news, Connor McDavid led the team. Bad news, we didn't have a single player scoring 100 points here. But that doesn't matter. The first line performed this season. Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews, you guys had respectable numbers considering you were playing on the 4th line. Goaltending numbers, they look great from Connor Hellebuyck. He had 8 shutouts, a 923 and a 223. I really can't expect Connor Hellebuyck to do any more. Only problem is we play the St. Louis Blues in the first round. We all know we're going to lose. Like, this is the St. Louis Blues we're talking about. Robert Thomas leading the way. Yeah, that team is definitely going to beat us. We are going to sweep the St. Louis Blues and move on. Ignore everything I said. Okay, I'm not going to lie. If we lose to the LA Kings, I might end this video. You'll know why if we lose. Like, realistically, there is 0 chance we lose to the LA Kings here. We probably should sweep the LA Kings. We allowed 8 goals in game number 1. They won 38 games all season. That team won 38 games and then proceeded to put up 8 goals in game number 1 against this Edmonton Oilers team. That didn't just happen. We get to take on Connor Hellebuyck again. Last time he was able to take us down. Not this time though. Our offense is too good. We're going to find a way to score goals. We split the series. Game number 5 is going to be an easy victory for us. We lost 6-0. That couldn't have backfired more than it did. Like I said, we were going to win that game. Not only did we lose 6-0, we didn't score a single goal in that game. We have a 2-goal lead entering the third period. Connor McDavid's going to pick up the hat trick here, and we're going to move on. Well, move on to game 7 at least. Because, yeah, we still have to play Game 7. And McDavid didn't even pick up a hat trick. What's bro doing? So here we go. Our chance at making it to the Stanley Cup Final. For the first time in this video, all we have to do is get past the Jets. Sean Couturier is picking up the first goal of the game. In the second, we're going to be picking up another 2. So we're going to have a 2-goal lead entering the third. As long as we play good defense, we're making it to the Stanley Cup Final. And that's exactly what's happening. So it comes down to one more matchup. One more team is in our way. And that's the New York Rangers. As long as these Rangers play the way they have been in real life, we'll probably sweep this team. We might even win every game 9-0. We're down 3-1. I should probably just stop talking. So we got to make a 3-1 series comeback. We should probably just take one game at a time here. We're down 2-1. We are not going out like this. I refuse to go out like this. It's a big comeback from the Oilers right here. This team's making the comeback. We're tying this game up. We're winning it, and we're off to game 6. Never mind. We were actually losing in game 5. Well, that's a tough look. Okay, seriously, I actually have no clue what to do anymore. Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, Mitch Marner, Cale Makar, Austin Matthews. What do I need to do in order for this team to win? How many more players do I have to add? Because it's getting a little bit ridiculous. Like, I've reached to the point where there's actually only 3 players I'm interested in. Neither of those players is Adam Pelech, but he is a left side defenseman. And maybe that's what we've been missing. Maybe that's what's been holding this team back. Maybe the fact that we don't have a true left side defenseman on our team is the reason we haven't won a Stanley Cup yet. Adam Pelech, he played with Connor McDavid back in his junior years. He was 6th on the Erie Otters in scoring. Can our lone left side defenseman be the difference and allow this team to finally win a Stanley Cup? We're going to find out pretty quick here. All right, Adam Pelech, you are going to be the lone left side defenseman on this team. The only actual defenseman who should play on the left side. Are you going to be the difference for us? Are you going to save this team and lead us to greatness? Probably not. I'm putting a lot of pressure on you considering you're just a defensive defenseman. You're going to be playing some second pairing minutes for us. That's actually a lie. You'll probably end up playing first pairing minutes for us because then we can move Drew Doughty down to the second pairing and give that a bit more support. I think that could be the move here. But Adam Pelech, lead us to greatness. Now, so far, nothing I've done for this team has worked. So we're going to allow the CPU to cook here. We're going to trust the CPU coach. Whatever he thinks we should do, that's what we're going to do here. Whether or not these are the right decisions, it doesn't matter. Who's he actually going to be scratching here? Sean Couturier, Chris Tanev. I mean, I can't really go against that based on what we have here. But if that's what the CPU coach wants to run, that's what we're running here. Now, you know what? I figured it out. I cracked the system. I know exactly what we have to do here. We have to go back to our old ways. The old ways, the old method, all reliable has to be brought out here. The team looked amazing this season. Connor Hellebuyck was an absolute stud. We're taking on the Minnesota Wild in the first round. But what do we have to do? Well, we just have to simulate the entire postseason. No face cam. It's old reliable. Whenever we do this, we always win a Stanley Cup. This method works 99.9% of the time, and it's going to work again here. So let's go ahead, simulate the entire postseason, and watch the Edmonton Oilers win a Stanley Cup. We dropped the first 3 games. Are we getting swept here? We just about got swept. We lost. So that happened. Alright, so the game glitched and unfortunately we lost in the playoffs. Definitely shouldn't have lost. Dylan Strom's going to be brought to the team next. One of Connor McDavid's former teammates from his junior years. Now, Dylan Strome played a couple seasons with Connor McDavid during his junior years, but I think the most notable one was the 2014-2015 season where Dylan Strome picked up 129 points. So Dylan Strome, welcome to the team. You really can't let me down more than what I just witnessed. Now, Dylan Strome, I really don't know what to say. You're an 88 overall playmaker. You can't make this team worse, right? Like, there's no possible way we're going to lose in less than 6 games in the first round, right? Like, seriously, we added Adam Pelech, we won 60 plus games, and then we proceeded to lose in a 6-game series. So Dylan Strome, as long as we don't lose in 5 games or get swept, then technically you improve this team. Alright, I have no clue what to say here, but McDavid, Matthews, Crosby, you're the first line. JT Miller, Braden Point, Mitch Marner, you're the second line. When it comes to the defense, this is what we're running here. I have no words to explain my disappointment with this team. How is Connor McDavid's dream team not won a Stanley Cup yet? Like, we haven't even made it to the Stanley Cup final. We are so good. We should have about 4 Stanley Cups by now. But nope, we haven't even got our first. Now, this is the most confident I've ever felt in us winning a Stanley Cup. Because when it comes to our leading scorer, it has to be somebody that can lead the team. Like, I can trust Connor McDavid to do that, but he hasn't proved that he's been able to win a Stanley Cup with us. But this guy who's currently leading the team in scoring, I can trust him. I would trust this man with my life. Sidney Crosby, 123 points, 33 goals, 90 assists. He's going to be the guy for us. He's going to be the person to lead the way. And if Crosby's leading us to a Stanley Cup, then I think we're in pretty good hands. Connor Hellebuyck, 53 wins, 6 shots, a 913 to 254. Crosby is the man that we're going to rely on. When push comes to shove, Crosby's going to be on the ice for us. We're going to allow him to do his thing, and we're going to get a Stanley Cup here. But it all starts against the Dallas Stars. Crosby, I believe in you. You've been able to win Stanley Cups before, and you're going to get another one here. But you're going to help Connor McDavid get his first. Why did we just drop back-to-back games? We're not losing 3 in a row here. We're going to win in Game 6, and then we're going to close this out. But the fact that we lost 2 games in round number 1, the fact that we lost 3 games in round number 1 is ridiculous. We are the best team in the entire league, a 64 win team, and we're going to lose in the first round once again. Zach Hyman's picking up the first goal, Brain Point's picking up the second. A Connor Hellebuyck shutout would be nice here, but we had a 4-0 lead at one point and we were not blowing that. So we're going to be advancing to the second round. but we can't take any team lightly. So Dallas put up a good fight, but it doesn't matter because it was good enough for taking down the first round. Our next matchup is going to have us see the Battle of Alberta as Edmonton's taking on Calgary. So we got Edmonton and Calgary matching up. The Edmonton Oilers should be the clear favorite here, and it looks like they will be. They're going to sweep the Calgary Flames. We got momentum right now. We can't stop. We have the Chicago Blackhawks up next. This is the 2025 Chicago Blackhawks. We will not lose to the Chicago Blackhawks here. I refuse to lose to Chicago. I also just realized we technically have made it to one Stanley Cup final. I think I said earlier that we've never made it to the Stanley Cup final. I was yapping if I said that. It all comes down to this. One final matchup against the Toronto Maple Leafs. We will not lose to the Toronto Maple Leafs. We have a 3-1 series lead. All I need is one more victory. One more victory and Connor McDavid finally gets his first. We've lost back-to-back games. We had won the first 3 games. Do not go to game 7. A Connor Hellebuyck shutout's going to do it. The Edmonton Oilers are finally Stanley Cup champs. Connor McDavid's finally getting his first, and en route to his first, he's going to be picking up 33 points in the playoffs, 13 goals, 20 assists. Austin Matthews, 15 and 15 for 30 points. Sidney Crosby, 29. That's all we needed. We just needed Sidney Crosby to lead the way in the regular season. He showed the boys what they had to do, and we're finally Stanley Cup champions. Connor Hellebuyck, you were incredible as well. 16 wins, 3 shots, a 917 and 234. With Connor McDavid's dream team, we were able to win a Stanley Cup. But at the end of the day, we got to thank one man and one man only, Sidney Crosby. Sid the Kid at 37 years old, he showed this team what they had to do. He led the team in scoring 123 points during the regular season, better than what he's done in his prime. And with Crosby producing at that rate, it's no surprise we're Stanley Cup champs.